Vin.
I'm Sori.
And we are about to review some Pantera. How'd you like the first Pantera song? Bree!
Oh my gosh, I loved it.
Are you talking to me? Speaking of are you talking to me, so I wanted to say that I appreciate all the support that we get.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
No.
You're not saying that yet?
No.
Well,
What?
there's something big coming.
There's something very big coming, and we have to decide whether it's two big things or one big thing. Mm-hmm. Something extremely big coming. Something I told you guys was going to happen in the Vin and Sori community video that was on our page. We laid out a game plan. We told you guys it was going to happen. We don't play around.
No.
We don't play. We don't play games. Sori don't play games, I don't play games.
Nope.
Okay, but seriously, we wanted to thank you guys. I don't want to be misinterpreted. Yesterday I shot the video and I talked about how people are on us for not selecting their particular video. But I don't want you guys to think that that means that we don't want you guys to bug us, because we do.
No, we do. Totally do.
Bug us, harass us constantly, over and over and over again. We just got to Trivium yesterday, which I actually like that song. I think Trivium's probably going to end up in our rotation. The Sin in the Sentence record was great.
Have you ever heard of the phrase, the squeaky wheel gets the grease?
Right.
Okay,
right.
That's what's going on here.
There's not a lot of algebra or arithmetic that goes into our algorithm currently.
Right.
But we'll figure it out at some point. But anyway, so we've got some pretty big groundbreaking stuff that I'll say this hasn't happened with any other reaction channel. Is that safe?
I don't know. I don't watch them, so I wouldn't know. But I've never heard of it.
But our community, and I'll say this, what we're going to announce and what we're going to bring to you guys in a couple days literally would not have been possible without our community. That's a literal fact.
Yep.
Which, you know, I'm going to stop and just say the folks in our community, I just feel like are just the most artistically gifted, socially conscious, just brilliant, make shit happen people in the internet. That's just how I feel. Yeah,
we even had I love how when people kind of work together to kind of accomplish something. We've talked about this before, like David Bowie with his art, and then Solomon Kane with his music, and then we had, my mind just went blank.
Mark is building our website.
Yeah, Mark is building our website. Yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to say, because I didn't have a name, that's why it threw me off. But then you were telling me that somebody broke down the tool, the live stream, and time-stamped it for us.
Carmen.
That's unbelievable.
And then Steve's getting us shirts, Viking gear or something like that. I mean, it's but you know, people are getting it. It's not.
That's what it is to be in a village.
You guys have figured it out, right? We're not just a reaction channel now. You guys are starting to figure it out, and I love that. I love that about our community. So the basis, the foundation, is reacting to stuff, and that's our bread and butter. And we're always going to do that. But I think everybody's starting to figure out. Yeah. There's different ways here and different lanes that we're operating in, and you know, a year from now, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people have different things that they can input into this, and ideas and stuff that we can make this bigger and make this better and make this more about all of us. So if you have those ideas, don't be afraid to go put them out there.
Yeah. And you know, we did a live chat, just kind of hangout thing when we were prepping for the Tools show, and we really liked that a lot.
We loved it.
So we're probably going to do that.
That's something we're definitely going to do again.
Probably going to do that pretty soon.
You know what I liked about it is that there was no agenda.
Right.
Because we were just trying to figure out the camera. So, we didn't have an agenda with you guys. People just, mad people started showing up for, nothing. I know. And then...
Where were all you in high school? Where are all these people that liked me in high school? What the hell? Someone had all those problems.
Aww. I just thought it was cool, and I was like, you know what? That's what happens when you're hanging out with friends. It's not like you're like, hey, let's do this, that, and the other. Sometimes you do, but then sometimes you just show up and just let things happen.
Track of time.
Yeah, yeah, it was cool.
All right, so this is Pantera. This is called 5 Minutes Alone. I'm expecting this to be a slow song. I'm expecting this to be like a Fade to Black type thing.
Yeah, I guess I'm picturing it to be alone, too.
5 minutes alone. There's this band Explosions in the Sky. They did a song called The Only Moment...
Unless it's an angry 5 minutes alone.
What do you mean? How can you be angry at 5 minutes alone? You're by yourself. It's introspective.
Well, sometimes I just want 5 minutes alone when all the kids are...
You don't want 5 minutes alone. You want 5 minutes with me.
That's true. But you didn't have to tell them. That's true. I want the alone... You're so right.
Play the music.
Okay, cue the music.
Nope. Not faded black.
I knew it could happen. Everybody always gets injured when they play with me.
Here's a real solo, probably. Not that Karen King shit.
break something.
Come on, do the walk. Do the walk right now. these guys are the masters of like simple rock. Like that shit, you know, it's like mad simple. You know what I mean? But it's like,
yeah, I get it.
It's
I
cheap.
guess I see what you're saying.
Is it there? Is, you know, it's simple, but it's like,
but you get right into it.
Like, and then that guy's voice is like, it's very unique.
Yeah, I loved it.
It was
you
not
know
a slow song.
Some songs, they kind of like draw you in, but this one, it's like going on and you're like, I'm diving in.
5 minutes alone. Yeah, I usually.
I liked his vocals.
No, I do. I'm saying like it's like a signature thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like that vocal style only he would be able to pull it off. Like I feel like if somebody else in another band tried to do that little, it would be like, yo, chill, dude.
Yeah.
You're trying to be like the dude from Pantera. I don't know anybody from Pantera. All I know is Dimebag Darrell. That little solo, I mean, didn't really go a lot of places, but it was it had some structure. It wasn't just, you know. You know, all the Slayer people were mad at me.
Why?
Listen, Andrew, the solo was supposed to be chaotic, so sorry, got it right, and you got it wrong, so you're dumb. You know, like. Did
you not know it was supposed to be chaotic?
I mean.
How can you say that? Obviously, it was meant to be that way if that's what they did with it.
What do you
Unless
mean?
you don't.
I'm talking about the Rain and Blood solo.
Yeah, I know,
from
but
yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
Abomination.
But I liked it though, right?
Oh yeah, they were like, oh, sorry, got it. She understood it.
So what I'm saying is, how can they say that? Because
I was criticizing it.
Obviously,
and I was saying
you know
that
it was supposed to be chaotic, is what I'm saying. I'm saying if the band put it like that, they intended it to be chaotic. So obviously, you knew that it was intended to be chaotic. You just didn't like it.
No, I don't believe that it was intended to be chaotic.
What?
No.
What do you think they were trying to do? Compose
you don't know Carrie.
Symphony?
You don't know Carrie King, Your Grace, but you will soon. And you will see he can't solo. Period.
Oh.
Period.
I don't know.
It's like those modern artists, you know, they take a bunch of spaghetti and throw it against a fucking wall and they go, look at that shit, look at the fucking brilliance. And you go, that's like, there's no art, there's no, you know, it's no symmetry to it. And they're like, oh, it's supposed to be like that.
Oh, well, I disagree with you. I like that. I'm like, what? That's a great, just how is it gonna land? And what it would be like to do that type of art?
Yeah, but a 5-year-old can do it. That's not art.
No.
If a 5-year-old can do it, that's art.
A 5-year-old can't appreciate what's going on.
Why do we need to do a Patreon account? I can just...
Yeah, and I'll throw spaghetti at the wall while you do it.
Yeah, throw spaghetti at the wall. That'll be the album art. And, you know, I'll just do this the whole time. Yeah. Hey, there you go, guys. Give me millions of dollars and say I'm one of the greatest metal guitarists of all time because I can, you know, do this shit. What are you talking about? No,
I mean, I thought he was purposeful about it.
No, Dimebag is an example of a guy who can play and who can actually construct a solo, and it sounds awesome. This is actually good. The other thing was okay.
Okay.
And I love Slayer. That's the thing. I love Slayer. The thing is, it's all about self-awareness. I know what I am, and I know what I'm not. So if I was in the band, I'd say, Carrie, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
I'll give it to Jeff. But this is not about Slayer. This is about Pantera.
Yeah, I liked this.
5 minutes alone! Okay, so what do you think the song is about?
I don't know.
These guys, you know, I usually don't like oversimplified riffs that get played over and over. I usually don't like it. I usually want some variety, but I think the way that he did his vocals, there were like 3 different styles of his vocals, so it changed, even though the riff was kind of similar, the same, it changed the song for me, the way that he did his vocals differently. So I think they're a very, very smart band. I like the way they did it. I like the way they do things. So what do you think the song is about? Here we go.
I don't know. I just got the feeling that somebody's coming after him, but there was like some talk of being an idol and stuff like that. So I mean, what I read into it from the little bit of lyrics that I caught from, because again, I just like to feel it. I just thought that some people were coming out against him or whatever, and like, yeah, I don't really know. I really didn't get anything, and I don't want to create some big story, and I have no clue what it's about. You'll be like, where did you get that? And I'll be like,
you had your mind all made up, you group of pitiful liars.
Yeah, I think that was the part where I was like, oh, okay.
Before I woke to face the day, your master plan transpired.
Something told me this job has more to meet the eye. My song is not believed. My words somewhat deceiving. Now I'm unwhole. Unwhole is interesting.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So something told me this job has more to meet the eye. I bet it's a job of being a rock star.
Ugh.
My song is not believed. That's a good line. That must hurt an artist. You know, you put your whole soul into a song and people are like, you're full of shit. You don't really feel like that. And they're like bleeding on the paper.
Yeah.
And, you know, the song is not believed. My words somewhat deceiving. Now I'm unwhole.
Yep. You've waged a war of nerves, but you can't crush the kingdom. Can't be what your idols are. Can't leave the scar. You cry for compensation. I ask you, just give us 5 minutes alone. Is he just like? Is it just the overwhelming people like coming at him? He just wants a break from
compensation. Them? Compensation seems to be like
money,
payback at some level. Give us 5 minutes alone. That sounds like you want to fight somebody.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you never said. Yeah, you've probably never said that because you never wanted to fight somebody. But it's usually what people say, like, "Yo, give me."
I wouldn't say I never wanted to fight anybody. I would just say I never did.
See this guy outside. Give me 5 minutes with this guy.
Oh,
you ever heard of that?
You're right.
Isn't that? Remember that time that gymnastics coach, he was raping all those girls? Remember? And then during the sentencing, the dad said,
"Just give me 5 minutes.
Give me 5 minutes with this guy."
Yeah,
and then
we can't do that.
And then he went to go and attack him.
I was so proud of him.
The cops jumped on him. If I was a cop, I'd have been like, "All right, chill.
Yeah.
We don't do this in the court of law."
I know, they all jumped on it too fast.
So I think the 5 minutes. So I initially thought 5 minutes alone was like this sort of reflective Metallica. I need time.
But it's a fight. He wants to fight him.
Okay,
that's crazy.
All right,
okay,
motherfucker, let's go. 5 minutes alone.
You can't crush the kingdom. What do you think he means by that?
Maybe somebody wants to sue them because he says you want compensation. You cry for compensation.
Can't leave the scar.
But I want to go to the whole, my words are somewhat deceiving, now I'm unwhole. Like, you know, Paul says, so Paul is one of my favorite guys in the Bible, and he's talking about all the things that he suffers. And he's talking about, like, being attacked, fell into the lions, beaten up, stoned, they thought he was dead. And then it says, we are accounted as false even though we are true. And he puts that on the same level as being like stoned to death and all this other shit.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's like, it's nothing more hurtful when you put yourself out there for a community and then they turn the whole thing around on you. And so he, you know.
And these people put their families on the line and stuff too, you know, to do what they do a lot of times.
Oh yeah, of course.
So
yeah, they put
to sacrifice so much and then to have, you know, negativity come toward you, it's gonna suck.
Well, that's the thing about rock stars is they kind of like stop becoming people. Like they start becoming these like commodities.
I was just gonna say commodities. Yep.
You know, it says you can't live up to your idols or whatever, and then it's like, and then you say all types of crazy. Like people feel like they can say all types of crazy shit to these celebrities.
I know.
You know, and it's like. Things you would never say about anybody, like in real life.
I know.
People say crazy shit to celebrities that would never happen.
I was listening to, again, it was one of the things that you were listening to and I overheard it, and it was just somebody that was talking about, like, this is obviously smaller scale because he was talking about YouTube, and he was saying like that he goes through and he deletes his negative comments because it's bad for his mental health. And then he said he was concerned about other people reading the negative content and stuff and how they would feel. And like in my heart I felt sad because I was like, why would somebody put this, you know, some people that have done that are putting themselves out there have gone through a lot. Like, I don't know that girl's name, that blonde girl that puts out those, what's her name?
Nicole Arbor, I think.
Yeah, like when you see her backstory and stuff, and she came through so much to get to where she is, and I'm super proud of her for doing what she did, but still you get that negativity that's coming toward her, like, why? What's the point? Why? And I'm sure that's on a micro scale compared to, you know, what this level of celebrities are going to experience.
Well, yeah, there's this.
It's that James verse that says that life and death is in the power of the tongue.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, people say crazy shit to, you know. I mean, when you're talking about his music, you're talking about his work. You're talking about what the man does for a living. Like,
and it's not just what he puts his hands to, it's what he puts his heart to, because oftentimes art comes from the soul. Well,
that's his centerpiece of it. There is this famous basketball game. It's called the Malice at the Palace. It's the Indiana Pacers that are playing pretty sure the Detroit Pistons. Mm-hmm. And one of the and it got hectic because the basketball players went into the crowd and started fighting the guys in the crowd, and it was just insane. You know, these guys are 6'7", 6'10", 250. You know, you can imagine the type of carnage that they and then the backstory of that whole thing was the fans were throwing ice on them and throwing popcorns at them, swearing and spitting on them and all the rest of it. And people were saying, look at these thugs, look at these basketball players. Because it was scary, because you're looking at a 6'10" guy, you know, looking down at some, you know, 5'4", you know, a guy my size, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it was very disproportionate. But they interviewed one of the basketball players, and he goes, would anybody at your place of work tolerate somebody spitting on them and throwing shit at them?
That is so disgusting and so disrespectful.
You know what I mean? Like, eventually they kind of hit a point where they're like, yeah, you know, you hold these celebrities to these weird standards that
you would never hold yourself to. You would never stand for somebody spitting at you and throwing stuff at you.
The basketball court is their office.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's their office. None of us would tolerate that shit. But because they're a celebrity, because they're a millionaire, somehow, you know, that means that you could do whatever you want to them, because now all of a sudden they're millionaires.
No, I don't think that that's what it is. I feel like that people get this idea that they own them.
Yeah.
That somehow, because they're the players of their team, they own them somehow.
Right.
And I don't know if it's because they invest some sort of monetary whatever into the games, into the cable that buys the games, or into the tickets to go to the concerts or whatever. I'm not sure, but somehow people get this idea that they own them. And it's kind of similar with sometimes with like men and how they treat women, and how like they try to like own them. Like we're women, we're human beings, you know?
Well, yeah.
Same thing with these. You don't own these people.
Yeah. You wage war on earth, but you can't crush the kingdom. That sounds like a lawsuit to me. You cry for compensation. I ask, please just give us 5 minutes alone.
Wow.
Can't be what your idols are. Can't leave the scar. Yikes. I mean, that's just him saying, this is probably a fan. Mm-hmm. And a fan that turned on him. So now, you know, now they want compensation. Wow, I don't know. Maybe, you guys maybe help us out. Did Pantera ever get sued or something? I know there was a girl that died at a Korn concert one time.
What, from the mosh pit?
No, she fell off of a thing and she died.
What do you mean off of a thing? Off of what? She climbed up on something and she fell?
Well, I mean, it's a big giant stadium, and she fell off the whatever and she died. So I don't know.
I don't know maybe something by whatever, but
I mean, it's a stadium, babe. So like, you know, it can get pretty high the higher up you go. So she fell.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she died at the concert. So yeah, but so I don't know if something like that happened and but this is interesting. You took me for a fool. You used complexion of my skin for a counter-racist tool. You can't burn me. I spilled my guts out in the past. Take a minute. So you know what's interesting? After we did the walk video, people were saying, this son of a bitch, he's racist, blah, blah, blah. Don't give him any airtime. This guy.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So apparently he's got some sort of like skinhead, you know, or slash, and then the other guys are like neo-Confederates, I heard, or whatever.
Oh. Really?
So he's got that in his, maybe he had some like skinhead affiliations in the past, and they were trying to extort him. See what I'm saying? You use complexion, and you use the complexion of my skin. It's kind of like a reverse because he's white, but if he had that in his past and they were trying to use that to extort him or to paint him as the bad guy, and he's saying, you know, you taken advantage of because you know where I come from, my past.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's like you're gonna, because the only unforgivable sin now is to be a racist.
Right. Oh
you know,
my
like,
gosh, okay. So when he's saying my past, he's saying I'm not like that now, but I was, and you're trying to use that against me?
Right. I think so. I think that's what he's talking about. But, you know, I think there are some sins that are that certain subcultures are willing to forgive quickly, and other sins that they're not. And so, like, racism is one of them. Like, for some people, like, that's the be-all, end-all. And they
At this point in history.
Yeah, and they don't really feel like people should be given an opportunity to grow past it.
Yeah, because we're always changing and conforming and becoming someone new and someone different.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, they became rock stars, what, 18, 19 years old?
Uh-huh.
I mean, do you agree with everything that you thought of when you were 18 and 19 years old? You were racist as hell when you were 18.
I didn't know I was, though.
That's the worst one. At least he knew what it was about. At least
he had some self-awareness.
Yeah, I think for me, when it comes to the whole race issue, I just think that, you know, and again, some of this comes from, like I say all the time, my meta-narrative makes life very convenient, because one of my narratives is that everybody's a sinner.
Yep.
And everybody has, and what that means is that our mindsets at some level are sick somewhere.
Yeah.
And so if that's the case, if he was truly a racist, I'm not going to go, whoa, this is like unforgivable. Right. He was a racist.
Right.
I don't know his experience. I don't know where he came from. I don't know what you know, he was brought up with. Neither do you. So, I mean, even if he was, I mean, I don't, you know, that dude from Mayhem, I guess he's like a kind of like a soft Nazi almost.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one that, you know, I don't want to keep saying the one that killed his friend, because he's got an identity outside of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know his name. But yeah, people are like, oh, he's a racist, blah, 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 blah. Well, he doesn't believe in race mixing and all that stuff. And so I still want to talk to him. You know, I want to know what his mindset is. Yeah. Shoot, maybe at the end of the discussion, I'll be like, oh.
I would never.
I would. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, I think, you know, that's a real big, you know, a big giant elephant in the room that I think we got to deal with. I think, you know.
Well, I mean, according to Christian theology, we wouldn't throw the guy out anywhere because of his past, because when you think about it, you've got Paul, who you always talk about,
right,
who slaughtered so many people.
Right.
And then you have David, who wrote tons of the Psalms, which so many people, even people that aren't like necessarily religious, still kind of come to the Psalms, the 23rd Psalm.
If metal people knew who David was, they would love him.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was also a murderer. He was a thief. He was
a heavy dude.
Yeah.
He was metal. He was rock and roll.
Yeah.
Sex, drugs, all that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So I get it. I get that he was a racist. I don't know if he's like changed that mindset or whatever. But I'm not gonna characterize. Look, everybody that you see is in one chapter of a book of their life. Right? And that's the crazy thing about celebrities, is that you can kind of watch the pages unfold, where you just known us for a month and a half, right? So, you know, that doesn't do anything for me or to me. The fact that he had racial issues, or that they're all, you know, what is it, neo-Confederates or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think the people that were saying these guys are racist, don't give them airtime, were genuinely concerned.
I think they were concerned for you, yeah.
For me,
yeah.
You know, and I love you guys.
Yeah,
I love you guys for that.
Sweet of them.
Yeah, and I think that's important information for me to know. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll help us review this guy responsibly if we ever see something where, like, subliminally we're like, oh shit, what's that? You know?
Yeah.
But this particular person that he's talking about is not doing it because he's worried about me or people like me. This guy's doing it because he wants to extort this guy for something.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it's like, you know, everybody's got shit in their background that they would rather not have, you know, aired out in public. So, like, you know, that's a really fucked up thing to do. And it's like I said the other time, like, you got to make decisions about what type of person you're going to be. And you can justify betraying somebody's trust, you know, in any way you want, and, you know, you can say, oh, they hurt me, now I've got this information, so I'm going to go blast. You know, especially if it's something that a person has overcome. Like, let's say that he was a racist and he overcame it. Why would you throw that back in his face?
Yeah.
And let's say they didn't overcome it. What is he still struggling with this horrible mentality? Why would you throw that in his face?
Right.
like,
regardless of how you look at it, why would you do that?
Yeah, people try to weaponize information that they know about people, you know. So, you know, I strongly urge you to, because relationship dynamics change all the time, don't be that guy or that girl, you know? Like, no matter what people do or say, no matter how they hurt you, keep that shit to yourself. You know, unless you think it's a real danger to other people.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for pure and good motives, then more power to you, and I mean that. But
to help other people or to help the person themselves.
Yeah, yeah. But other than that, don't try to, you know, you're in a jihad with somebody, so you're gonna pull something out to get them. And believe me, it's tempting. But the minute you do that, you lose something of yourself, and you become like the people that are beneath you. And I'm too proud to do that. So
should you be.
For any reason, it's just straight pride. Yeah, so this song was pretty straightforward. He's like, give me 5 minutes alone with you, boy, and we'll figure it out.
Yep. Yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah, not a lot of philosophy. Yeah.
Right.
What do you give the song?
8.5. 8.
I'm gonna have to give it a 6.5. I enjoyed the repetitive riff.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit too much at the end for me.
Oh.
It's a no for either they modify it a little bit, like chop it in half and kind of modify it at the end, or you just make the song 30 seconds shorter. But the riff was just too repetitive.
I would be fine with 30 seconds shorter.
Yeah, 5 minutes alone. Okay, you want 5 minutes alone with the guy?
Oh no, not the singing. I wouldn't make the singing.
No, the singing was fine. The singing was fine.
I'm just saying, like the ending, like the music. I don't know. There was a part in there that I felt was a little long. I'm not sure where it was.
It's a little long.
But I still had fun with it, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like when we play, when we're doing it, I think I enjoy the song more. So it's hard to give like an honest like. I don't know what I would give it if you didn't. No, but I enjoyed it. I felt like I was like jumping around inside with it and moving around with it.
I feel like Pantera, like would probably be one of the funnest shows to go to.
Oh yeah.
Between this guy sounds like he's got a really like charismatic personality on stage, and it seems like they would have been a really, really fun show to go to. So there you go. 5 minutes alone got a 6. Sorry.
I give it an 8.
8.5.
8.5. I liked it.
So it's a 7.5 or something like that average. You liked it.
I did. It was fun.
Yeah, you pretty much make decisions in like 4 seconds, huh?
No.
No.
It progresses throughout the song. I'll be like, okay, you start at 0 and then you're like 4, 7, 6, 3. Just depends on like how the song progresses. No, it usually starts out like at around a 7 and then it goes up or down from there.
Gotcha. All right. Well, moral of the story is stop trying to extort people because they're racist.
Yeah.
Evil bastard.
Have some respect for people. Treat people the way you want to be treated. It's that simple.
What a novel idea. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.